from one of my favorite books. It's been quite a number of years since I've spent time soaking in this one, but I felt it was going to be rather important if there's people out there who are interested in practical occultism, as it would be called in the West, but really, in the tradition I learned, we call it internal alchemy. It's the way of managing the internal weather of the what's in Chinese a Jing Wu, the channels of Jing, courses of Jing. It was first outlined by the emperor who established what we understand as the Chinese people. He standardized Mandarin. I guess we could say standardized it. Huangdi, the Yellow Emperor of Qin state. The universal truth from the Neijing Suwen, the Yellow Emperor's Treatise on Internal Medicine, translated by Dr. Mao Xing Ni. In ancient times, the Yellow Emperor Huangdi was known to have been a child prodigy. As he grew, he showed himself to be sincere, wise, honest, and compassionate. He became very learned and developed keen powers for observing nature. His people recognized him as a natural leader and chose him as their emperor. During his reign, Huangdi discoursed on medicine, health, lifestyle, nutrition, and Taoist cosmology with his ministers Qi Bo, Lei Gong, and others. Their first discussion began with Huangdi inquiring, "I've heard that in the days of old, everyone lived 100 years without showing the usual signs of aging. In our time, however, people age prematurely, living only 50 years. Is this due to a change in the environment, or is it because people have lost the correct way of life?" Qi Bo replied, "In the past, people practiced the Tao, the way of life. They understood the principle of balance, of yin and yang, as represented by the transformation of the energies of the universe. Thus, they formulated practices such as Tao Yin, an exercise combining stretching, massaging, and breathing to promote energy flow, and meditation to help maintain and harmonize themselves with the universe. They ate a balanced diet at regular times, arose and retired at regular hours, avoided overstressing their bodies and minds, and refrained from overindulgence of all kinds. They maintained well-being of body and mind. Thus, it is not surprising that they lived over 100 years. These days, people have changed their way of life. They drink wine as though it were water, indulge excessively in destructive activities, drain their Jing, the body's essence that is stored in the kidneys, and deplete their Qi. They do not know the secret of conserving their energy and vitality. Seeking emotional excitement and momentary pleasures, people disregard the natural rhythm and order of the universe. They fail to regulate their lifestyle and diet and sleep improperly. So it is not surprising that they look old at 50 and die soon after. The accomplished ones of ancient times advised people to guard themselves against Zei Feng, disease-causing factors. On the mental level, one should remain calm and avoid excessive desires and fantasies, recognizing and maintaining the natural purity and clarity of the mind. When internal energies are able to circulate smoothly and freely, and the energy of the mind is not scattered, but is focused and concentrated, illness and disease can be avoided, Previously, people led a calm and honest existence, detachment from undue desire and ambition. They lived with an untainted conscience and without fear. They were active but never depleted themselves because they lived simply. These individuals knew contentment, as reflected in their diet of basic but nourishing foods, and attire that was appropriate to the season but never luxurious. Since they were happy with their position in life, they did not feel jealousy or greed. They had compassion for others and were helpful and honest, free from destructive habits. They remained unshakable and unswayed by temptations, and they were able to stay centered even when adversity arose. They treated others justly, regardless of their level of intelligence or social position. Huang Di asked, "When one grows old, one cannot bear children. Is this due to heredity or to the loss of one's procreative energy?" Qi Bo answered, "In general, the reproductive physiology of woman is such that at 7 years of age, her kidney energy becomes full, her permanent teeth come in, and her hair grows long. At 14 years, the Tian Kui, or fertility essence, matures. The Run, conception, and Chong, vital channels, responsible for conception, open. Menstruation begins, and conception is possible. At 21 years, the kidney energy is strong and healthy. The wisdom teeth appear, and the body is vital and flourishing. At 28 years, the bones and tendons are well developed, and the hair and secondary sex characteristics are complete. This is the height of female development. At 35 years, the Yang Ming channel and large stomach and large intestine channels that govern the major facial muscles begin to deplete. The muscles begin to atrophy, facial wrinkles appear, and the hair begins to thin. At 42, all three Yang channels, Tai Yang, Xiao Yang, and Yang Ming, are exhausted. The entire face is wrinkled, and the hair begins to turn gray. At 49 years, the Ren and Chong channels are completely empty, and the Tian Kui has dried up. Hence the flow of the menses ceases, and the woman is no longer able to conceive. In the male, at 8 years of age, the kidney energy becomes full, the permanent teeth appear, and the hair becomes long. At 16 years of age, the kidney energy is ample, the Tian Kui is mature, and the Jing is ripe, so procreation is possible. At 24 years, the kidney qi is abundant. The bones and tendons grow strong, and the wisdom teeth come in. At the 32nd year, the body is at the peak of strength, and functions of the male are at their height. By 40, the kidney qi begins to wane. Teeth become loose, and the hair starts to fall. At 48, the yang energy of the head begins to deplete. The face becomes sallow, the hair grays, and the teeth deteriorate. By 56 years, the liver energy weakens, causing the tendons to stiffen. At 64, the Tian Kui dries up and the Jing is drained, resulting in kidney exhaustion, fatigue, and weakness. When the energy of all the organs is full, the excess energy stored in the kidney is excreted for the purpose of conception. But now, the organs have aged, and their energies have become depleted. The bones and tendons have become frail and stiff, and movements are hampered. The kidney reservoir becomes empty, marking the end of the power of conception. Huang Di remarked, "I notice, however, that some people, even though they are quite elderly, can still conceive." Qi Bo replied, "This is because these individuals inherited an unusual abundance of Jing, and also realized how to lead their lives properly and protect their vitality. At 64 and 49, for males and females respectively, these individuals still have excess kidney energy, as well as qi and blood. so they still have the capacity to procreate. However, men past the age of 64 and women past 49 have normally lost this ability. Huang Di asked if a wise one who follows the Tao is over 100 years of age, can he or she still retain the ability to procreate? Chibo answered, yes, it is possible. If one knows how to live a correct way of life, conserve one's energy, and follow the Tao, yes, it is possible. One could procreate at the age of 100 years. Huang Di inquired, I've heard of people, in ancient times, spoken of as the immortals, who knew the secrets of the universe and held yin and yang, the world, in the palms of their hands. They extracted essence from nature and practiced various disciplines such as Tao Yin and Qigong, and breathing and visualization exercises to integrate the body, mind, and spirit. They remained undisturbed and thus attained extraordinary levels of accomplishment. Can you tell me about them? Chibo responded, the immortals kept their mental energies focused and refined and harmonized their bodies with the environment. Thus, they did not show conventional signs of aging and were able to live beyond biological limitations. Not so long ago, there were people known as achieved beings who had true virtue, understood the way of life, and were able to adapt and harmonize with the universe and the seasons. They, too, were able to keep their mental energy, though through proper concentration. These achieved beings did not live like ordinary humans who tended to abuse themselves. They were able to travel freely to different times and places since they were not governed by conventional views of time and space. Their sense perceptions were supernormal, going far beyond the sight and hearing of ordinary humans. They were also able to preserve their lifespans and live in full health, such much as the immortals did. There was a third type of person known as the sage. The sages lived peacefully under heaven and earth, following the rhythms of the planet and the universe. They adapted to society without being swayed by cultural trends. They were free from emotional extremes and lived a balanced, contented existence. Their outward appearance, behavior, and thinking did not reflect the conflicting norms of society. The sages appeared busy, but were never depleted. Internally, they did not overburden themselves. They abided in calmness, recognizing the empty nature of phenomenological existence. The sages lived over 100 years because they did not scatter and disperse their energies. A fourth type were natural people who followed the Tao and were called naturalists. They lived in accordance with the rhythmic patterns of the seasons, heaven and earth, moon, sun, and stars. They appeared to follow the way of ancient times, choosing not to lead excessive lifestyles. They, too, lived plainly and enjoyed long life. The Nei Jing Su Wen, translated by Mao Sheng Ni with commentary, the Yellow Emperor's classic of inner medicine. Music accompaniment by El Mikel's Affair. Enter the 37th chamber. Bye-bye.